deep in the heart of Texas tonight for some Sunday night USL Championship action at HEB Park. It's RGVFC against San Antonio FC. It's all presented by HEB with the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Josh Eastern. Happy you can be spending some of your Sunday night with us on this tasty matchup here in the state of Texas. Well, RGV is at home tonight, of course, and their home form has been much better than their road form here in the past few years.
It certainly has. Well, it's because their road form hasn't been very good. Look at that. This last year and the year before, just the 2 wins. But at home last season, 9 wins. That's where the strength is. And bearing in mind that RGV have lost their opening 2 matches, a win at home tonight is an absolute must.
They are in Group D, and it is a tough group at that. They'll be looking to get 3 points at home tonight. But tonight's player to watch, it's sponsored by Rodeo Dental. It's Luca Perpa for RGV.
Yeah, age 21 and described by his coach as a player who's very smart when it comes to soccer, technically good, calm in possession, and wonderful vision. Well, that's the sort of comments you love to receive from your coach. He thinks very highly of Luca, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play tonight.
He's the lone goal scorer this year for RGV. On the other side, maybe one of the most exciting players in the entire league, Christian Pirano.
Yeah, won the 2019 Young Talent of the Year award for the league with 7 goals. That's a fantastic achievement, only aged 20. And again, something to look forward to, even just showing us his little skills there. Another player to look forward to, and some great players on view today, and can't wait for this match to start.
Well, Christian Pirano, one of those very exciting young players on this team, full of them. Well, it's a South Texas derby. It's San Antonio's first match back since the restart, while RGV is trying to get on track. Lineups and first kick coming up next from Edinburgh, Texas.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you, for life.
At Bird Ogden and Fiesta dealerships, we continue to make our facilities safer. We are using hospital-grade disinfectants to sanitize customer waiting areas. We are sanitizing every vehicle before and after each use. Safety is our top priority. Together, we will get through this.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
Back here at HEB Park, the team's on the field just getting set to go, and tonight's match is presented by Bud Light Seltzer. But first, let's take a look at the starting 11 for both sides. They're brought to you by Whataburger. We'll start with RGV.
Yeah, 3 changes there for Gerson Echeverry from the 1-0 loss to El Paso. Out go Melic, Martinez, and Obregon Jr. In James Murphy, Kimbo Kibato, and Garrett McLaughlin.
James Murphy, his first start for the club. On the other side for San Antonio, and Alan Marcina.
He makes a whole bunch of changes, 6 of them in total from the team that beat Real Monarchs back in March. In goals, Dane Sinclair gets a start, and Matt Cardone goes to the bench. 2 changes in defense, Joshua Yarrow and Hunter Gorski coming in. Jesus Enrique in midfield with Christian Pirano. And up front, a big unit there, Ignacio Bailone. He comes in for Di Renzo.
We're just about set to go. Tonight's referee is Melvin Rivas. Of course, you can see RGV will be going left to right in their orange kits, while it will be San Antonio in their all-white kits. They'll have to save those beautiful checkerboard jerseys for another day. Very much looking forward to this match tonight. Christian Pirano, one of the most exciting players in the league. He will make the first touch of this match. We'll get things underway. It is Group D action The other three teams, FC Tulsa, OKC Energy, and Austin Bold. It's a crucial match for RGV. We'll get more into that as this match continues, but we're underway tonight from Edinburgh, Texas. It's RGV Toros, and it's San Antonio FC. Well, this is the first match in 134 days for San Antonio FC. An early cross into the box is knocked away by Carter Manley. On the other side for RGV, it's been only 8 days since their 1-0 loss on the road at El Paso, one of those few matches out of the group that they will play here in this 2020 season. Here's Christian Pirano on the ball. Enriquez, the former RGV man. Back for Pirano. All the way to the end line. Lasers a ball towards the top of the box. The shot by Solignac is blocked down. Right now, San Antonio with a couple early chances here.
Yeah, look at Pirano, look at that skill. We talked about him and the fact that he was the Young Player of the Year last year, the number 10, you can see on bottom of your screen, but early on there's some skills on that left-hand side, decent ball in the box, and created a few problems for RGV. So he's a player they're gonna have to keep an eye on.
Now RGV looking to work that left side. It's kept in by Coronado. Ball comes in, did take a deflection out, and it will be the first corner kick of the match for RGV tonight.
Yeah, such a crucial game for RGV. 2 matches played, 2 losses. If they lose this one and suddenly it's 3 and they play San Antonio again, it's big pressure. So for them, got to get a result. And set pieces, I think about a third of all goals come from set pieces, so it's an opportunity for them.
All the players wearing those BLM armbands. Ball swung in towards the top of the 6-yard box. It's headed away. RGV looking to track this one down to their own half. Shove in the back there, but play will continue. Bailone getting stuck in there, the big forward tonight for San Antonio. Pirano, all the way into the box. It's Christian Pirano for San Antonio. Just over 2 minutes in, the Young Player of the Year from 2019, picking up right where he left off, 1-0 to San Antonio.
That's a fantastic finish, and we spoke about him before the match and picked him out as a potential match winner, but I didn't expect it to come within a couple of minutes. And he did have that little chance on the left-hand side where he looked good. This is his second touch of the ball. Good flick on, by the way, from Solignac. And the ball goes right through. A little bit too easy, perhaps. If you're an RGV fan, you're saying, come on, we need to do better from Coronado in terms of defending. But let's give credit to young Pirano. He jumped on that, tucked it away. Now his team are 1-0 up already.
7 goals last year for Christian Pirano, the young Argentine. And already on the score sheet here tonight in the 3rd minute. Didn't take long for San Antonio to score their first goal since the restart. Their only goal in their previous match against Real Monarchs came from a set piece, a corner kick. Callum Montgomery scored that goal. He's not even in the 18 tonight.
It's a really tough start for RGV, especially after that loss to El Paso and the earlier beating from Los Dos 5-1. They needed to get something good, a good start here, and it's gone pear-shaped already.
The cross coming in from RGV. This one is knocked away. Well, we talked with Gerson Echeverry. He said it was a bit of a weird game against El Paso last week on the road. They wanted to limit their possession. Of course, El Paso, a very possession-based team, but they just kind of tired out towards the end, and they couldn't really keep the ball. It made it difficult to build forward and create opportunities. So far tonight, it seems like San Antonio has had the lion's share of possession here early on.
We're just picking up on that El Paso match. They only had 34% possession. RGV, it's very difficult to win games with little possession. They didn't create any major chances. 6 chances, but none of them what you call a big chance. And only 209 accurate passes versus 478 for El Paso. So the stats didn't look that good for RGV.
Bailone has his cross deflected out, and it will be a corner kick this time for San Antonio.
It's important that RGV bounce back. We mentioned the 2 losses already, and Bob Lilly, we were doing the match yesterday, and he said you got to hit the ground running. This is a sprint. You haven't got all this time to pick and choose which ones you're going to win. You've got to win every game as it comes up, otherwise you get left behind. That's the situation RGV find themselves in already. 2 losses and 1-0 down here.
PC with the outswinger towards the top of the 6-yard box. Comes out for Smith, and he gets it right back for PC. Smith again, puts his left foot through it towards the top of the box, and this one skied out of play. Oh, it did take a deflection on the way out, and it will be another corner kick for San Antonio.
A big unit there, Tainter, isn't he, pushing up there, the center back. He's tall, he's a good option for a decent ball into the box. A couple of other big players already mentioned by Lona how big he is. And you've got Selignac as well. So a decent ball in here could give RGV all sorts of problems.
Here's PC again. Right into the mixer again. This time cleared away a little bit farther for Connor Maloney. Bailone flicks it wide, and Coronado alert to it again. San Antonio with those 2 target strikers, able to knock it down like we saw in that first goal for a guy like Christian Pirano. It's a pretty good formula for scoring goals. Of course, no fans in the stands tonight. First home match since the restart for RGV. Or pardon me, for San Antonio. RGV played last week. This game was originally supposed to be played on Friday night, but a statement was put out late Thursday that a player, or pardon me, just a person in the group for RGV had tested positive. Part of their testing group had tested positive. They delayed the game, and it was announced later Saturday that it was to be played here tonight.
It's tough for San Antonio. It's been a long wait since that victory over Real Monarchs back in March, and as players you want to get going and you're watching the others playing, it's frustrating.
The offside flag is up there on the far side once that touch is made. We talked with Alan Marcina today, and he said finally is the right way to say it when talking about getting back to playing. I mean, you can only play yourselves for so much.
Yeah, absolutely. A team versus B team. And it is frustrating when other teams are playing and you're seeing results on the board, and you want to get in there and get going. But what we've seen so far in the first 7 minutes for San Antonio, their fans are going to be very happy. This is a talented side, a little bit of youth thrown in there. As we mentioned with Pirano, some big players, and maybe there's some glory waiting for San Antonio fans this season.
Good mix of experienced players along with those young academy products that Alan Marcina calls the fabric of this club, their academy. 10 players on the roster have gone through that academy. It's something the USL is pushing as well. The path to pro.
They have a player, Jose Gallegos, who in the last match was absolutely wonderful back in March. He's on the bench. I'm looking forward to seeing him. So you're right, there's a blend of anywhere between 25 and 29-year-olds, all experienced, good players, and a couple of really exciting youngsters.
Of course, the 5 substitution rule in effect for this 2020 season. It can be used at 3 windows, halftime not one of them. So a chance to see potentially 5 of those 8 players, pardon me, 7 players on the bench for both sides. Switch of field for Lego. Tiberson to his right. Coming infield. Now played wide. The cross coming all the way through. St. Clair is there to scoop it up just in front of goal. A little bit more positive here from RGV.
That was good goalkeeping there from Dane Sinclair, 23 years of age. Came out, dominated the area, got the ball. Not easy because Garrett McLaughlin was coming in, and he could easily got on the end of that. But the goalkeeper brave as well, risk taking a boot to the face. That's what you want to see from a goalkeeper, someone who puts getting the ball ahead of personal injury. And that's what Dane Sinclair did there. And of course he'll he'll know that he has to perform well. He's got Matt Cardone on the bench, and Matt, in his 6th season with San Antonio, is a solid keeper, top-class keeper. So Dan's going to have to put in a really good performance to challenge for that #1 position.
I think we were both a little bit surprised when we saw Dane St. Clair's name on the team sheet tonight.
Again, it's about bringing youngsters through, and okay, 23 isn't young, but it's young enough. Goalkeepers can play to their mid-30s. So it's a balancing act with coaches. You know, how much space do you make for young players and give them a chance, and what blend of older players do you keep in the team? You keep the spine, you keep most of the major positions, your experienced players, so that the youngsters can blend in, you know, slowly and easily.
Here's PC. Takes a shot on. Did it take a deflection? Looks like it did not, and it will be a goal kick here for RGV.
I believe he's named after an older Corinthians player called Pablo Cesar. He looks like him, or he's a fan of that player or whatever, but he got called PC, and it seems to have stuck ever since. So the 25-year-old Brazilian, known to us all as PC.
Spent 2019 with Vancouver Whitecaps. 11 minutes gone, but it was in the 3rd minute that Christian Pirano opened the scoring. It seems like since the restart, maybe one of the last things to come back is the finishing, with all these players trying to shake off the rust. And for San Antonio, of course, haven't played in 134 days. But it looked like the finishing was A-OK from Christian Pirano very early on in this match. It was a good goal.
Kidding. It was a great flick on, by the way, from Selignac. But didn't he take the ball well, Christian Pirano, and finish it? There he is now, just being lectured by the referee. But that was the second thing he did. In the very first minute, he had a run down the left-hand side where he skinned a few defenders and put a decent cross in. So very impressed with what I've seen from this young man. No wonder he was named Young Player of the Year last year.
A ball played down that left-hand flank. It's Rodriguez. Back for Coronado. His cross coming in, flicked along and just past the post. It was a glancing header. I just couldn't find that corner. Looked like that was James Murphy.
It was a lovely ball in and a well-timed run as well. It wasn't too far off. You have a look at this ball in. Lovely ball. Timing of the header, absolutely spot on from James Murphy. Just going past that post, but nice creative moment for RGV. Give their fans something to shout about. They haven't had much so far. So a good attacking moment to lift the confidence of the men in orange.
They're looking for some more confidence as this game goes on. Of course, now having to chase an equalizer so early on, but results have not gone their way early this season. Perpa trying to play that one wide. Maloney very active, winning that back for San Antonio.
We just mentioned Perpa, and Coach Echeverry saying that they really wanted to get him more on the ball against El Paso, because he is a very good player, very creative. We did pick him out at the start of the game as a player to look for. He just felt that the other players had to try and bring him into the game, get him more possession. So we'll see if they can find the number 14, Luca Perpa.
Here's Yaro in his 2nd season with San Antonio, the captain tonight. Trying to find Sulignac. It was Carter Manley, one of those 3 new signings into the club in just in the last few weeks. Carter Manley, Jonathan Jimenez, along with James Murphy. Those 3 players. Carter Manley, part of Minnesota United last season, but spent much of his time in USL League One with Forward Madison. He's mostly at right back, but he's being moved more centrally here with RGV. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Comes RGV trying to build through the middle again. Murphy. Perpa on the turn. Not on the same page there with Kevin Rodriguez.
At least you got an idea of what Luca Perpa can do, because he turned, as that ball came, he turned in one move. So he wanted to take the ball and go straight at that San Antonio defense. Didn't quite come off for him on that occasion, but you can see the intent and purpose and why it's so, his coach feels it's so important that a lot of that play comes through Luca Perpa.
Is the lone goal on the season, assisted by Isidro Martinez, who's on the bench tonight. That goal came all the way back in March against Los Dos. That was a 5-1 loss right here at HEB Park.
Just looking back at that match, it really wasn't that bad a performance from RGV. It's just that Los Dos had 5 or 6 chances and buried almost every one of them. They were brilliant on the day, absolutely clinical. And for poor RGV, they tried their little half chances, nothing would happen, and bang, other end, and Los Dos were ahead and scored again. So I wouldn't read too much into that defeat.
Maybe something opening up for San Antonio. Solignac against Manley. All the way towards Maloney, who's cutting into field from his right wing back position. San Antonio content to keep some possession, but this will run all the way through for Blanchette.
I think they were just trying to find Solignac there. That was aimed at the big number 9, but he'd come from an offside position and the ball went over his head. But not a bad idea. If you've got big, tall center forwards, no reason why you shouldn't play long balls into them.
You have guys running off of those like Christian Pirano. Yeah. It's a pretty good game plan there.
Absolutely.
San Antonio has been in control basically from the get-go. Ball played in towards the end line, headed back towards goal and right into the side netting. That was Enriquez.
Yeah, a little bit of a clash with the keeper there, it seemed, although there wasn't much to it, but he went down as if he'd been bumped. Enriquez, but he got round the back there, looking at the actual cross and the danger that he nearly caused. He couldn't quite head it back. But I mean, a header just inside that box. Once again, RGV is defending not the best.
Familiar stomping grounds for Jesus Enriquez. Of course, his first season with San Antonio, but spent the last 2 with RGV. Made 61 appearances for the club. Scored 10 goals during his time. Now on the other end of the South Texas Derby. Here he is on the ball. Good sliding challenge to knock that out by Emil Lego.
Very deep, aren't they, RGV, in their own third of the park. Just saying to San Antonio, if you want to have the ball in your half, be my guest. Now they're pushing up a little bit more.
Enriquez for PC. Wide for Solignac. Float a ball into the box. It's headed away. Murphy comes away with it for the moment. Bit of a heavy touch by Solignac, and he commits the foul on Perpa.
He apologizes straight away. Didn't mean to. He was just overstretching for the ball. He's going to be a threat. If they can get good service to him and Bailona, who are both well over 6'2", look more like 6'4". They're 2 huge units up front. If they get some decent service from out wide, they're going to cause those 2 center backs for RGV all sorts of problems.
And not in the 1870s, actual Schoberg, the big center back. He's at 6'7", so there's some big targets on this roster. Another long ball over the top, and Blanchette will track this one down. Gerson Echeverry trying to encourage his side. 20 minutes gone, and they're still looking to build into this match.
Well, for Echeverry, this is his 3rd season, first time that a coach of RGV has gone 3 seasons, but it hasn't had the best of starts for him. You know what coaching's like in the modern world. It's always a worry for a coach when you start losing a few games.
Maloney couldn't quite keep that under his control. Here's Perpa. Still going. Trying to turn that corner. He'll resort to a long ball over the top, and it runs through for Dane St. Clair.
There's not much for Garrett McLaughlin so far, is it? He's a lone striker up front, hasn't had much decent service there. He just comes back in to do his defensive duties. And number 16, he'll be wanting better service than that, service that he can get on the end of and hopefully get himself a goal.
McLaughlin out of SMU. He was the 8th pick in the Super Draft by the Houston Dynamo. He will get a chance to play in his hometown of Oklahoma City later on this year. Actually, later on this week when they play OKC Energy on the 22nd.
Yeah, they have 2 matches, don't they, coming up after this?
Oh, yeah,
Wednesday, it's Saturday, it's San Antonio again.
It's weird scheduling because San Antonio doesn't play during the midweek. So they play 2 straight games against RGV, but RGV have OKC Energy squeezed in the middle of that.
Wow. Look, this is a vital week for RGV. Let's not beat about the bush, but 2 losses already. If they lose this one, then they've got 2 matches. They could be out of this tournament before it barely begins, and it's the last thing that Echeverry wants and that the fans would want. So once again, this match is turning out to be even more crucial. They have to fight their way back into this game. They've got to find themselves an equalizer, and they haven't really tested Dane St. Clair too much so far.
San Antonio with 3 points today can go top of the group over OKC Energy. With 6 points in their first 2 matches. Can't get any better than that. Of course, without fans in the stands, you can hear all of the sounds from the game, including some of the direction from Gerson Echeverry and Alan Marcina.
Yeah, it's such a pity not to have fans. I mean, there's been some wonderful fans in the USL, and the support they give is it's crucial to the not just the atmosphere, but to the players' standard. They raise their standard for the fans. But having said that, it is what it is. The players have to get on with it and find a way to, to motivate themselves and to perform at the highest possible level. And I think, to be honest, most of them are just happy to be out playing after being locked up indoors for a long time. And it's a chance to get out there and do what they're good at doing, which is playing high-level soccer.
It's been a long 134 days, I'm sure, for San Antonio. About 8 days shorter for RGV, but it's good to have the USL back in action. Here's Enriquez. Played wide for Solignac. Carter Manley will come out to greet him. Enriquez. Here's Pirano. Pirano again. Oh, silky move by the number 10. And again, he's just toying with his back line. Maloney will try to keep this in. He will. Skirts into the box. Cleared away by Manley. It was Cabato. Was able to knock that away. Now Perpa, maybe a chance to counter here for RGV, but it was knocked away by Joshua Yarrow. The foul committed will give it back to San Antonio.
Dare I say that Pirano, young Pirano, looked a little Messi-esque there for a moment?
I didn't want to say it.
Don't want to put pressure on him, but he had those moves because that low center of gravity and that ability to change direction very quickly. And if you have the skills to bring the ball with you when you change direction, then you are Messi-esque. So no wonder they're talking this young man up.
If you want to talk about Messi, we got to bring up, of course, the big target striker, Ignacio Bailone from Rosario, Argentina, the same hometown as one Lionel Messi.
Oh, wow. Does he have any other similarity, like ability to beat 5 players and stick it in the top corner?
I'm not sure about that, but we still have about 60 minutes to find out. Here's Tainter. Iverson comes away with it, but immediately gives it away. been tough for RGV to keep hold of possession. That's something Gerson Echeverry told us this week about their game against El Paso. They struggled in those moments to build forward. They did a lot of chasing in that match. You mentioned just the 34% possession for RGV in that match.
See, that's a problem, especially early on in the season when you're not fully match fit. If you spend a lot of time chasing the ball, chasing your opponents, you get very tired and your standard of play can drop quickly, especially in the last sort of 10-15 minutes. So it is a concern. The problem is if you keep giving the ball away, that's a lack of skill. So how does someone like Echeverry sort that out? It's one thing saying to the players, keep the ball, but if they're not, if they can't, if they don't have those skills, then you have to find something in a sort of alternative way of playing, which is perhaps knock the ball long, maybe knock it wide, whatever you have to do. But chasing the ball as they're doing now, it's hard yards for RGV.
See if they can break it on the counter. They tried to a moment ago, but Tyberson did misplay a pass. McLaughlin gets taken down.
Let's see if they use the set piece, RGV, if they knock it long into the box. No, they prefer to go short.
Lego. They keep possession for the moment. It's fouled by PC. See if RGV can try to find something into the attack. Tyberson couldn't control it. San Antonio will be able to play out.
See, that's that loss of possession there. It was a straightforward ball to Tyberson. Somehow, as you say, couldn't quite control it. Maybe the ball wasn't played at the right pace. And suddenly now you're defending at the other end of the pitch. It's such an important part of the game to be able to keep your possession and not make risky passes, unless, of course, it might result in a goal. Because otherwise, you've got to come all the way back, as they are now, and defend and try and win the ball back. And this takes a lot of energy. Having said that, San Antonio are playing well with the ball. They're managing to keep possession. We just watch them. Let's just see how they, how they do it. But they bring it back and they play it into midfield. And okay, as I'm talking them up, they give the ball away. But at least we've got an idea of how San Antonio are doing it. Just bodies moving, looking for the ball, and nice weighted passes that make it easier to receive the ball.
Perpa lays it down the line. Rodriguez. It's Yarrow. Stands it up towards the top of the box. Murphy chests that along for Tyberson. He likes it on his left foot, a curling effort. Oh, it's off the post. Murphy again. It's scooped up by Dane St. Clair. Well, the first real opportunity for the Toros tonight.
Wow, what a strike that was from Tyberson. Absolutely brilliant. As soon as he hits it, I'm thinking, man, it's probably going to go wide, but he puts a whip on it. Have a look. On his left foot, look at the bend he puts in. That ball keeps bending. And in the end, here you get a better view of the bend. Look at that, look at towards the end there, how much that bends, and it nearly sneaks in. The post just coming to Dane St. Clair's rescue.
Well, Dane St. Clair was beat on that occasion, and fortunate to see that glance off the post for St. Clair.
Something positive for RGV fans, something to get them out of their seat. That's what they have to do more of. And they are pressing now. Have a look at that, 6 orange jerseys, all trying the high press, trying to win possession back in a dangerous area. That's a much more positive approach from RGV.
Murphy does just that, and then it rolls out for a throw-in.
Perhaps that's what Echeverry's saying there, is push up, be the aggressor, don't sit back.
You can't do something like that and give it right to Luis Solignac. Ilone trying to track it down. It's Knocked all the way back for Blanchette. Should be getting our hydration break here in the next few moments. Those hydration breaks are basically a timeout like you'd see in football or basketball to talk things over and maybe make any necessary tweaks that need to be made.
That's something new for soccer. Obviously, it's never happened before, and coaches are realizing, like you say, that they can make changes.
Here's Solignac. Manley chasing him down. Stuck his foot in, was able to knock that out for a corner kick.
Nearly a good chance. Solignac once again causing problems. He was the one who flicked it on for the goal. In fact, he got the assist for the goal against Real Monarchs back in March. So he's been a really dangerous player for San Antonio. Great value. And there again, maybe didn't quite have the pace to get away from Manley, but certainly was in the right position.
PC will make the slow jog over to the near side corner to take this corner kick. Another set piece opportunity for San Antonio tonight. Another outswinger. Headed on, and it's right at Blanchette, who had to go down to his left to make the save. Good ball whipped in once again by PC.
Yeah, Blanchette doing what the keeper had to do. Hands on it, don't drop it, don't let it come loose. Wasn't the hardest of headers, but nonetheless had to be dealt with.
Lego. Knocked out, another throw in for RGV. Pirano wants a moment, I believe. As he put his arm up, he's still on the ground.
I don't know if he's taken a few knocks early on. And I think the referee perhaps suggesting now is a good time for a water break, is he? I would guess it's pretty warm in Texas, even at night time.
We've seen hydration breaks all around the league, around the 30th minute. We're getting word there will not be a hydration break in the first half.
I thought that was a rule. Maybe the ref has the right to overrule that rule. I don't know.
So I think this is one of the first games that there hasn't been a first half hydration break. Nonetheless, RGV sent another cross in that's taken by Dane St. Clair.
But I'm assuming the part of the world where they're playing this football is going to be pretty warm in the middle of summer. Texas, it's you'd expect the temperature to be up there in the 90s somewhat, and you would think it would just be a sensible thing to do to have a water break. Why not? I can't see the advantage of not having it. The only advantage is in having it. So
it is 84 degrees at the moment.
It's warm enough when you're running up and down, especially RGV have been doing most of the running. You need that water break.
Tyberson was about 4 or 5 inches away almost from leveling this match at 1 with his beautiful curling effort that just hit the inside of the post.
Well, not even has been as much as 4 or 5, might just been an inch or 2 because it hit the post and shot across the face of the goals just a little bit further than it would have hit the post and gone in. Wonderful strike, and the bend he got on that ball. It's great for those kids who are practicing to be able to know that you can whip your foot around that ball and create so much bend. Certainly had Dane St. Clair scrambling.
Tyberson, his first season in the United States after multiple seasons in Brazil since 2012. 26-year-old out of Algrete, Brazil.
Lots of instructions coming from the bench. We can, as you said earlier, we can hear most of what's going on, or at least hear the noise, and the players having to interpret what's being said and where they have to stand and what they have to do.
Bailone went down. He wanted the whistle. It never came.
Nice pressure from San Antonio leads to a turnover in that final third of the pitch.
Here's Tainter. Talked about with San Antonio how big their academy is, but in the first match of the season, all the way back in March, 11 players made their club debut. That's just kind of part of the new look of this San Antonio side, but it's not all that new. Alan Marcin, of course, on the staff last year as an assistant under Darren Powell, gets promoted this year, but he wanted to blend this team with a good mix of young academy players along with some experienced pros and bring in good character guys, and it seems like they've done that, and so far so good. About a game and a half almost. All the way towards the end line, and St. Clair another catch in the middle of his goal.
As you mentioned, Jose Gallegos at 18 is on the bench, and he really is an exciting talent. They've got a couple of other young players. Tabotaka, 21 years of age, from Cameroon, also on the bench. Hopefully we'll get to see them. In fact, we would expect to get to see them in the second half, because there's always big rotations now that we have 5 substitutions allowed. And of course, you're managing players' fitnesses as they come back to playing proper matches. And that also entails some knowledge of the players, their physical state, and how much rest they need.
Another set piece opportunity for San Antonio. It's PC to stand over it again. Sent in towards the back post area. And it will be a foul. We'll go back towards RGV.
Yeah, there's all those big boys pushing up, the likes of Gorski, and Tainter, and the 2 big center forwards. It's going to be a hard day's work for RGV on set pieces against so many tall players.
This one put straight out of play. Well, don't miss a minute of action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for RGV and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on RGV's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club.
It's Pirano trying to use his skills to get down the line there. I'd like to see more ball get played to young Christian Pirano, because he does have the ability to trick players and get past them and open up opportunities.
It seems like we've seen him all over the field. He isn't really subjected to just one position tonight. He's been floating around quite well, but looks like at the moment playing underneath those 2 strikers.
That's pretty much his role. He's wearing number 10 and he's playing pretty much like a number 10, trying to feed the 2 big boys up front, trying to get the ball and run at the back 4 and cause problems. So far he has been impressive, especially those first 10 minutes.
The goal just about 2.5 minutes in for Christian Pirano. That's the difference so far. Played all the way back to Blanchette again. San Antonio showing a bit of that pressure. Lego will keep this in. Back for Manley.
Struggling to get forward with the ball on their RGV. That's the difficulty here. If they play out the back, they're getting closed down. Eventually it's a long ball, and it becomes a 50-50 as to whether you win it. In this case they haven't, and now they've got to defend again. So they've got to find some more efficient way in which to keep possession and play their way out from the back.
Here's Pirano running right at Coronado. Clips it in towards Solignac. This will fall for Enriquez, but it was a foul, I believe, on Solignac just before that fell to Enriquez.
Not happy, the big man up front. Solignac just kicked the ball away. Lucky the ref didn't see it. He really is a handful. Both goals that they've scored, San Antonio, he's been the assist man for them.
PC using his body to win that one back. Tries to get by Murphy. He's able to get it wide. It's Maloney now, the Penn State product. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go in this first half. Of course, San Antonio would have to be the happier of the two sides at this juncture.
Yep, definitely agree with you there. They've been more positive, more creative, had opportunities, got the goal, of course, and haven't really allowed RGV Torres much in the way of strikes on goal. Just that one on the post, that was a brilliant strike from Tabison. Other than that, there hasn't been much.
Here's Lego for Tyberson. For San Antonio, they are making the bus trip to and from Edinburgh, Texas today.
How long would that take, roughly?
It's 237 miles, according from stadium to stadium, according to Google Maps. About 3.5 hours each way.
Not too bad. I mean, it's never great going in a bus to a game and then getting straight off the bus and playing. Done that a few times in my career, and it's, you know, you do get a little bit leg weary, but it's not showing for San Antonio, to be honest. And especially if you win, it's not a bad trip back. Singing some songs and telling jokes, everyone's in a good mood. Not a great trip if you lose, mind you.
Of course. Alan Marcinez said he hoped to get a little bit of rest on one of the trips, and it was brought up, well, if they win, you may not get as much rest. It'd be a happy bus trip back if they could hold this advantage. Of course, with the times of COVID-19, it's nice to just sleep in your own bed, not have to stay at a hotel and be out and about too much. Any trip under 500 miles will be by bus based on the guidelines put out by the league for this 16-game regular season here in the USL Championship in 2020. Towards the back post, a little bit too tall for Tyberson. This will skid out of play once again.
He just misjudged it. There's a good ball in for Tyberson, and he's got under it. Didn't even get his head on it. If he'd have just sort of waited a little bit, he might have got behind the defender. Have a look here, ball comes in, Tyberson gets drawn under it, and in the end he misses it completely. If he just waited a bit, he would have got behind the defender and managed to get ahead on that. But at least again, more positive from RGV. That's what you need to do. Get crosses in the box, get shots on target. You're at home, you have to win. We've said it before, and we'll probably keep saying it. Played 2, lost 2. You can't afford to make it play 3, lost 3, because you could more or less be out of the tournament by then. I think you mentioned some of the other teams in this group, and they are good teams. Austin Bold, OKC Energy, FC Tulsa. You know, it's not an easy group to get out of. Only 2 progress from 5. So RGV need to get something out of this match, I would think.
Another set piece opportunity for San Antonio. Sent into the middle was Murphy, who was able to head that towards Solignac, towards the back post again, and no nonsense from Lego. He knocks it out for a corner kick.
It's a good ball in from Solignac. He just turns and puts it right in the danger area, and you can't take any risk, just boot it out of touch. Again, he's a very good striker, this Solignac. And that he's a good target man, he's good with his feet. And, oh, there's the fans. I thought you said there were no fans.
Well, I guess they're coming in through us, through Zoom.
Wonderful. Such a pity those great fans aren't able to get to the match and give their support.
It's good that they're still able to connect with the club in that way. Spilone commits the foul in the middle. A round of applause for the referee.
Be careful giving applause to referees. That will get you a yellow card fairly quickly. We were talking about Solignac there just before that opportunity, and He had hip surgery on both hips. It kept him out of most of last season. So it's good to see him back and playing.
And a really good player, a good pickup for San Antonio for this 2020 season. Very experienced striker, and it'll be 1 minute of stoppage time here at the end of this first 45 minutes.
I think it's the first time I've seen a 1 minute sign go up, because virtually every game that I've watched, both USL and in Europe, it's been 5 or 6 minutes because of the water breaks.
Yeah.
And again, I'm very confused as to why there wouldn't be a water break. Maybe we can try and find out. I mean, it's not a serious thing, but if everybody else is doing it, why suddenly wouldn't you do it here today?
It's interesting when you get into the 50 minutes in the first half, 100 minutes in the second half, but that's just kind of how it's been throughout the world. But going into halftime, any major adjustments that you could see from either side?
I think San Antonio are going to be very happy with what they've got. All the pressures on RGV. They've got to get a win. Even a draw is not great for them. So how can they do it? Maybe more direct football, maybe down the lines, maybe push up more. As I saw Echeverry saying to them, get up, get up. Maybe they've got to attack. You know what? If you end up losing 3-0, then you lose 3-0. But you got to have a go.
Well, we'll see what the second 45 minutes bring. But the first 45 minutes was pretty good for San Antonio. They got off to a great start. Christian Pirano in the 3rd minute put San Antonio up 1-0. They have not looked back since. 45 minutes down and still 45 to go here from Edinburgh, Texas. It's RGV 0 and it's San Antonio 1.
Sir, you got Bud Light?
Back there.
Bud Light made a seltzer?
Wait, Bud Light made a seltzer?
I wonder what it tastes like.
Only one way to find out. What are the taste buds saying?
Tastes great. No Bud Light, just hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Light and refreshing. It says light and refreshing.
Let's get that instead.
Wait. Post Malone doesn't drink seltzer. We drink Bud Light. Everybody knows that.
Why not try something new?
Bud Light.
Seltzer.
Bud Light.
Seltzer.
Bud Light.
Well, season 1 was much better than season 2.
Guys, we're incredibly rich. Let's get both.
I'll get both. You got any pretzels?
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and a strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you, for life.
Halftime here in Edinburgh, Texas. San Antonio with the 1-0 advantage after first 45 minutes. Christian Pirano getting that goal. Well, this USL Championship and the USL League One at that is growing all the time, and a big part of that growth are these new stadiums that keep popping up. Of course, we've seen them in Louisville with Lynn Family Stadium, but Colorado Springs, they're trying to get on the action as well, and it's all part of the growth throughout this American soccer pyramid.
Oh, it's wonderful to see. I mean, I've been here 6 years, and the growth in soccer in that time has been absolutely amazing. And these stadiums are beautiful stadiums, and they're a decent size. I mean, there's many a stadium in England that in the sort of second division, first division, that isn't as big as this, and certainly isn't as new and as nice. So great credit to soccer in this country. It really is booming.
Here's a look at some of the teams that are looking to get in on that action. Louisville City, of course, opening up Lynn Family Stadium. Colorado Springs, OKC Energy, North Carolina FC, and San Diego Loyal. They also just released some photos of a potential redevelopment site at the sports arena area in San Diego. And San Diego's been a fun new addition to the league this year.
It has. Wonderful. I wish we could go there and commentate from San Diego. Can't you arrange that?
Landon Donovan has the Loyal moving in the right direction, along with a lot of other of these great clubs throughout the league. But here in Edinburgh at HEB Park, it's San Antonio up 1-0 over RGV, and we'll come back and we'll take you around the USL Championship. Right after this, it's halftime here in Edinburgh.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
Now up for Sandoval, and great save by Sean Melvin, and now a strike in there goes in for a goal.
Here's Jackson Conway, first chance, and buried for Atlanta.
Sante going for goal, what a strike! Catching Romero off his line.
One of the key components of USL clubs establishing reserve teams through the USL Academy League is the strategic alignment of long-term player development efforts. As opposed to the scholastic calendar that traditional youth leagues typically follow, and in an effort to further drive vertical integration, the USL Academy League will be the first pre-professional league to align with the American professional soccer calendar. Clubs will begin the year with a month-long preseason in February, followed by a 9-month regular season split into 3 cycles: spring, summer, and fall, concluding with USL Academy League playoffs before an off-season in December and January. Clubs will be able to move players fluidly through programs at select times throughout the year. These transfer windows strategically line the youth network, USL Academy team, and USL senior team even further. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
Well, the fans watching through Zoom tonight here in Edinburgh, Texas, trying to support their club from afar, but they are still in the stadium on the big screen. Pretty cool to see that, as San Antonio has a 1-0 advantage at halftime over RGV tonight. Let's take a look around the USL Championship. Some news and notes. Of course, we talked about that San Diego Loyal Stadium, but Solomon Asante picking up right where he left off, the MVP from last year.
Oh, fantastic player. I love this little man. Hails from Ghana, played I think 16, 17 times for his country. But every time he gets the ball, he can create opportunities. He runs at defense, he shoots, and been such a massive part of Phoenix's success. And I just love watching the man play.
He is so fun to watch. And of course, we've seen the BLM armbands that all the players and coaches are wearing, the USL United Against Racism. A look at the Group D standings. So we've been talking about this throughout. Of course, the top 2 teams advance to the postseason. RGV at the bottom, but San Antonio a chance to move top with 3 points tonight.
Yeah, it would be. Two games played, 6 points have put them in a fantastic position, bearing in mind that 2 go through to the knockout phases. But again, for Rio Grande Valley, and we've said it, and it's just proof of it, if they lose here tonight, and they've got 2 tough matches coming up midweek, OKC Energy and then San Antonio, their season could be over within the next 7 days. So vital, absolutely vital they get back into this game and get some goals on the board.
Upcoming in the midweek, of course, RGV against OKC on Wednesday. Thursday, a double dip, Austin Bold, FC Tulsa. Tacoma Defiance, it's been a pretty good start for them in Group A, and El Paso and New Mexico, a tasty matchup on Friday night out west in Texas. Well, upcoming for RGV, we talked about this, 2 tough road matches upcoming, and RGV is going to be seeing a lot of the road here in the next 5 games.
Yeah, which makes it tough, given that Their road record is so poor, only 2 wins in the last 2 seasons, or in each of the last 2 seasons. So, yep, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but they need a win at home, especially if that's where they get their wins. Otherwise, it's going to be on the road. 4 of those 5 are on the road. It's not fun when you've been in the bus 4 or 5 hours to then go and play football.
All the fans watching from home via Zoom, but here at HEB Park, it's halftime. San Antonio 1-0 advantage, second half, and highlights coming up right after this.
So you got Bud Light?
Back there.
Bud Light made a seltzer?
Wait, Bud Light made a seltzer?
I wonder what it tastes like.
Only one way to find out. What are the taste buds saying?
Tastes great. No Bud Light, just hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Light and refreshing. It says light and refreshing.
Let's get that instead.
Wait. Post Malone doesn't drink seltzer. We drink Bud Light. Everybody knows that.
Why not try something new? Bud Light. Seltzer.
Bud Light.
Seltzer.
Bud Light.
Well, season 1 was much better than season 2.
Guys, we're incredibly rich. Let's get both.
I'll get both. Got any pretzels?
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you for life.
At Bird Ogden and Fiesta dealerships, we continue to make our facilities safer. We are using hospital-grade disinfectants to sanitize customer waiting areas. We are sanitizing every vehicle before and after each use. Safety is our top priority. Together, we will get through this.
Getting set for the second half from HEB Park. It's RGV 0, it's San Antonio FC 1. Let's go back and take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes, and it was right off the bat, the man we featured in the pregame, Christian Pirano, got that opening goal. Long ball over the top, and pretty much he did the rest.
Yes, Lignac with a lovely flick on, but it's the balance of Pirano when he gets the ball. There's the flick on. Have a look. The young man gets it. He gets bumped by Coronado, and he retains his balance enough to go on to finish that. That is a really, really good goal.
And on the other side, really the lone opportunity or good opportunity match, Tyberson, he was inches away, maybe even centimeters from equalizing.
It's a fantastic strike. There wasn't much on for him. There was defenders in front of him, but the way he bends that ball around Dane Sinclair, and have a look at it from this angle, you can see that bend. He is just, as you say, so close to hitting the post and going in.
And a few more opportunities coming. A good save by Paul Blanchette. The PC's been pretty good on these corner kicks tonight.
Yeah, it's a comfortable save for the goalkeeper, but he's got good hands, gets behind it and deals with it.
Let's go back and look at our Burt Ogden Auto Group keys to the game for RGV managing those minutes. And come the second half, though, they got to chase this game now.
They have got to chase it, but they've got to be careful not to wear everyone out because they've got a match on Wednesday and Saturday. So who do you take off? Who's tired? Who needs a rest? Who's an important player ahead for Wednesday? So some thinking for Echeverry to do there for the RGV side. And for San Antonio, well, of course, they've been out for so long since March that they were going to feel a bit rusty. How long did it take them? 2.5 minutes to score?
Just about.
Don't think there was too much rust on that team. And they really are looking good so far. But again, San Antonio can't back off. They can't say the job is done. They've got lots of work to do. RGV with even more work to do because a draw probably isn't enough. I would think, Josh, they need to go and get the win, which means they need to score at least a couple of goals in the second half.
When you look at this group and how it's constructed, the 5 teams, it's just one of a few groups that have 5 teams in it. It means they'll face each team 3 times, and it's a lot of familiarity, and it's always tough to play teams in succession, and that's what both these teams are going to do, or at least San Antonio is going to do with RGV tonight, and then, of course, on Saturday.
Yeah, and the thing is, if San Antonio win, they'll feel even more confident about beating RGV at home. So right now, they're in a very good position. The visitors, I wonder if the 3.5-hour bus ride will take anything out of their bodies, where they might tire a little bit second half. But really, it's up to RGV to come out and show us what they can do. And they did. There's a couple of moments in the latter part of the first half where they were more positive, they pressed higher up, they try to make things happen. I'd like to see that RGV come out second half.
Well, of course, this is the South Texas Derby. We talked with Gerson Echeverry this week. He said, we still have bragging rights to play for, have a job to do. Of course, they're playing for the fans and the community, watching on Zoom, such a community-based club here in South Texas. And trying to make them proud here tonight, even though they are watching from afar. Their all-time record, they do have a positive record against San Antonio, 5-3-4 all-time against San Antonio, and hoping to add to that tonight, but still 45 minutes left to play, and it's been pretty fun to watch the San Antonio side, especially with Christian Pirano doing what he's done.
Oh, what an exciting young man. He's looking at the goalkeeper, Dane Sinclair, age 23, coming in for Matt Cardone, who's the regular goalkeeper. So the young man's done reasonably well. He hasn't had much to do, but what he has done has been good.
Let's see if we get any halftime substitutions.
Well, it's always tricky when they do substitute to see who's on and off. But last night we had 4 in 1 hit in the Pittsburgh match. It took us ages to figure out who was on, who was off, who was playing.
It's a line change almost, like you'd see in hockey.
But it is part of the modern game with these 5 substitutions allowed.
Are you in favor of that? For now maybe, but moving forward, would you like to keep it?
Yeah, I don't see why not. If you want to make more changes, why shouldn't you? I mean,
and there is 1 sub for San Antonio, as it will be Jesus Enriquez coming off, and the man we wanted to see from the beginning, or pardon me, this is for RGV. It is Isidro Martinez who will be coming in. So it is Enriquez coming off. It is Jose Gallegos coming off. Or pardon me, coming on. I just totally messed everybody up. So many subs. We were talking about all these subs. It is Jose Gallegos coming on. It is Isidro Martinez coming on. Jesus Enriquez coming off for San Antonio.
I think it might be Kimbo Kibato coming off for RGV Torres. I stand corrected, but I think it might be him.
Well, we'll sort all this out here in the next few moments. But in the meantime, the second half is underway. The team's, of course, switching ends. It'd be good to take a look at Jose Gallegos come this second half.
Yeah, he was so impressive in that match against Real Monarchs back in March. He was running at defenses and taking them on and creating all sorts of problems. A really, really exciting player.
We did get word about the water break and why there was no water break in the first half. They said it wasn't humid enough, wasn't hot enough apparently, but they will take one in the second half, we're getting word of. So just to clear up on that.
Mid 80s seems hot enough to need one, and that's what every other team's been doing. But anyway, no harm done. And I guess as long as they get a water break in the middle of the second half, that's when they're really going to need it.
Here's Pirano. Quick 1-2 with Bailone. It was Pirano who got held up, and it will be a foul. And looks like he took the brunt of that challenge. He's struggling just a little bit. He was injured at the beginning of the season. Was not ready for that opening match, but Alan Marcinez saying he is rearing and ready to go. And obviously he was ready to go just 3 minutes in, getting that opening goal.
Again, he's got that wonderful low center of gravity that I mentioned in that first half, and that can be so helpful in trying to change direction and get past defenders.
Here's PC. Flicked along right at Blanchette, and he was able to make the catch. Once again, San Antonio proving a threat on those set piece opportunities. We'll see what Isidro Martinez can do for RGV. The 23-year-old made 34 appearances for RGV last year, scoring 1 goal. He already has An assist this year as well. On the lone goal that RGV has scored, they're looking to equal that mark here in this second half. It's knocked out by Maloney. Murphy will keep possession in the middle. Tyberson puts an effort on goal. It's pushed aside by Dane St. Clair. I think Murphy wanted that to run through, but Tyberson took it for himself and earns RGV a corner.
That's a decent save as well there. You want to push it away from trouble, and that's exactly what Dane St. Clair did. Didn't drop it at the feet of any oncoming forwards. Pushed it away for a corner.
The in-swinger right into the middle. Looks like it will be another corner kick, this time on the other side for RGV.
That was the big man Ignacio Baloney just getting on the end of that and did well to head it over his crossbar. He found himself coming in the wrong direction towards his goal. And you don't want to end up scoring an own goal. So he did well to clear that crossbar. And you just see Dane St. Clair just moving his defenders around. By the way, Purper, he did say, Gerson Echeverry, he wanted Purper more on the ball. I didn't see a lot of that first half. Maybe we'll see this man more on the ball in the second half.
Well, here he is to take the corner kick. He'll play it short. He'll get it right back. And the offside flag goes up on the far side. That will all be for naught. Tried a quick play off the training ground. It didn't quite work.
Yeah, that's poor from those players up front, because when the ball's knocked back, you have to come out. You can't be caught on offside from a simple set-piece maneuver like that. So wasted opportunity for RGV.
Dane St. Clair will put this back in play with the goal kick.
Yeah, just to finish my point, there's so much about discipline. Sorry, I wasn't.
No, please.
Cutting you off. I was just thinking quietly to myself. Well, it's about discipline and it's about simple things. When that ball gets played back from a corner, you have to get out. You cannot be left in an offside position. It's just too simple a loss of good possession.
And credit to San Antonio for keeping that line as well. This is flicked along for Pirano. Pardon me, Gallegos. Here's Gallegos again, trying to turn the corner. Pirano and Gallegos, two really good young players for the San Antonio side. Gallegos was still in high school back in March, and he was having to balance finishing high school out along with playing here for San Antonio in the USL Championship. It's a good problem to have for the 18-year-old.
Yeah, and you're right, they are two very, very exciting young players. They run at you, they cause you problems. That's what makes them special. In any level of football, when someone can run at you and get past you as a defender, you hate it because they can expose you. And this young man against Real Monarchs, time and time again, ran at the defense and gave them all sorts of problems to have to deal with.
Get at least 45 minutes of them on the field together. Be a handful for this RGV side, still looking for that equalizing goal. Bailone trying to slip that inside for Maloney, maybe just a little bit too late. RGV will try to start the counterattack, but it's quickly shut down by PC.
Look at the pressure coming from San Antonio. They just can't get out in the end. It's just a big ball up the pitch. Possession lost, and I guess we have to give San Antonio credit. I've been a little bit hard on RGV and not being able to keep possession, but it hasn't been easy for them because they've been closed down really well by San Antonio. And you look at this team and think, wow, not only could they go through to the final knockout phase, they could go all the way to maybe a semi-final or something. They're a really good team.
It's one of the deepest teams in all of the USL Championship. We're seeing some of that depth tonight. We saw 3 changes, or more than 3 changes for San Antonio tonight, but Callum Montgomery, who's on loan from FC Dallas and North Texas Soccer Club, he was left out of the 18. There's a lot more experience that is not in the lineup tonight for San Antonio that I'm sure we'll see as this season moves on. As RGV try to come forward with Coronado. Murphy. Perpa keeps it alive, trying to get it back from Coronado. He will. Towards the top of the box for Tyberson, back on his right foot, going for goal. And it did take a deflection, as it looked like it sent Dane St. Clair the wrong way, and luckily for St. Clair, it went out of play for a corner kick.
That was a really good move. Perpa, we said he needed to be on the ball. His coach asked for him to be more on the ball, and you can see why. What a decent effort that was into the box. Tyberson does great here, and just as he pulls the trigger, it gets that deflection. Let's have a look at it from here. Yeah, it just comes off a knee of one of the defenders. That could have been on target and going in.
Corner kick cleared away. Coronado comes away with it. Good sustained attack here for RGV. The header coming on from McLaughlin. Popped up in the air by Maloney, and then the follow by Perpa is out of play. Another goal kick, but it's a little bit more positive from RGV.
Yeah, that'll get those Zoom fans a lot more excited, because RGV needed to be more positive. And again, if they end up losing 2 or 3-0, I'd rather that, and at least they have a go in the game than defend. So yep, those are the fans who want to see this positive approach. Have a go, RGV. You've got to try and get something out of this match and bring some joy to those wonderful fans.
Isidro Martinez may be one of those players that Gerson Echeverry wants to help that cause and trying to get a goal in this second half. Got put on at halftime. That does not count as one of the 3 substitution windows. Of course, one of the 5 substitutions that RGV is allowed tonight. Here's Perpa. Called his name a little bit more here in this second half. He wins a throw-in.
Well, someone's name you want to hear a lot more of if you're an RGV fan is Garrett McLaughlin up front, because he's your main target man, and he's hardly had a ball played to him all game. He's up there trying to close it down, running a lone furrow up and down sort of middle of the pitch. He needs service, and Perpa's got to try and find him, because if you get him service, McLaughlin, then suddenly you might start to see opportunities occur.
There's Coronado again. Rodriguez with Yarrow, play continuing. Perpa, McLaughlin, he gets cut down. It will be a free kick. I think they're going to bring it back for the first foul on Perpa. PC's not pleased about it, but it will be a set-piece opportunity for RGV.
He did take a big kick there, didn't he, Garrett McLaughlin, from behind. I thought might even have been a yellow card, because it's right through the back of his legs, which is not allowed, but I think the whistle had already gone for a free kick. Let's have a look at it again. On the ball here, Perpa. And he gets tripped up there, but have a look. That's right, that's a yellow card. You can't come through the back of a player, even if the whistle has gone. Not allowed to do that. Have a look at it there. He's gone through the legs, the middle of the legs of Garrett McLaughlin. Referee lets the big defender off.
It'll be a little bit farther back from where McLaughlin got taken down. They'll bring it back to where Perpa was brought down. And that's where the set piece will be taken. A lot of bodies in there right now. See if it's Martinez to take this. It will be. He goes for goal. It's off the post again. Twice already off the post for RGV tonight. But still no goal. Coronado will try to keep this in. He will not, but once again, so close for the Toros.
That's a wonderful free kick. Bent. Keeper couldn't get to it. Have a look at it again from Isidro Martinez. Yeah, the goalkeeper scrambling across Dane St. Clair. Would he have got it if it had just crept in the post? Maybe. At the end of the day, it's very, very close for RGV. And look at this high press. Much more positive second half from the home side.
Murphy let that go. RGV able to keep possession here. It's Tyberson. Perpa in the middle. Lot of room to work. He'll distribute wide. Rodriguez. Miscontrolled cross, and this will go well out of play.
That's a bad one from Rodriguez. His first touch took him away. You can see just by his body language that he's not happy with himself. His first touch took him away. Then he rushed to get the cross in and totally overhit it. But if his first touch had been a bit more cleaner, it would have set him up for an easier cross to make. But anyway, again, much more positive RGV, putting pressure on Dane Sinclair and that San Antonio defense.
Not sure that ball ever went in play. I think they're going to let them do this again. And it will be another throw-in. Well, kick off week 5 of the USL Championship season with a Monday night contest on ESPN2. Hartford Athletic and Loudoun United enter their second seasons in the championship under the lights at Dillon Stadium in Group F action. It's Hartford and Loudoun Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. It's been fun to be able to turn on the USL almost any night of the week on ESPN2 and watch some action. Some games going on as well right now around the league out west. Los Dos and San Diego Loyal. It's on Deportes, Reno and Sacramento Republic on ESPN2 right now. Some good Sunday night USL Championship action, including here in Edinburgh, where we still have a 1-goal game as Bailoni tracks this down. Runners coming to help. It's Pirano again. This one knocked away. PC comes away with it. He'll tee one up, and this is skied well out of play.
Yeah, not much to do with that shot. It's not his best, but just before that, Pirano at full pace getting into the box and nearly getting the end of that. Yeah, his hand's gone up. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. That was not my best. But Pirano coming into the box, again, Messi-esque, like running at full pace, nearly getting control of the ball. And if he keeps playing like he has been and doing the tricks he has, there he goes again. There's going to be more and more comparisons with Lionel Messi, and
gets fouled like Messi too.
Yep, yep. He's got to learn to take these knocks, the young man, because he will be targeted. He is so quick, whether defenders target him on purpose or not, he's just so quick they can't get to him. Yep, yellow card correctly given.
Let go into the book. We'll get a sub for San Antonio momentarily.
Have a look again, that low center of gravity moves with the ball. Well, Lego might have got the ball, but I think he got the player as well. Therein lies the problem.
And a sub will be made for San Antonio. It'll be Ignacio Bailone to come off. Zachary Harivo, the Haitian, to come on. Spent last year on loan at Birmingham Legion. He was on loan from the New England Revolution, made 23 appearances. Harivo spent 2017 in San Antonio, made 5 appearances for the club and 1 goal. So Harivo will come on now for San Antonio. A promising night though for Ignacio Bailone. His first season here in the United States as PC stands over this set piece. Solignac trying to flick that towards goal and a little bit too tall.
Yeah, the idea there is just to sort of flick it on and hope that somebody else has the finishing touch. You're unlikely to beat the goalkeeper from there. But if there's someone in the box who can lose their marker, they can just head it in from 4 or 5 yards out. So the idea was good. And again, Solignac, always the big threat up front there for San Antonio. As I mentioned already, 2 goals to San Antonio in their 2 matches. And he got the assist on both.
Looks like we're going to get a couple of subs here for RGV. Juan Obregon Jr. will come on, along with Deshane Beckford. Luca Perpa will make way. So Beckford and Obregon Jr. come on. It'll be Garrett McLaughlin to make way as well. So Some new attacking options here for RGV as they try to chase this game. And probably the expected moves by Gerson Echeverry.
Yeah, he's got himself strikers on that can score goals, and that's what he needs to get, is goals. So it's a positive move, I would think.
Beckford, the young Jamaican out of Montego Bay. We'll bring on Junior, played his college soccer at Siena. And Gallegos will stand over this corner kick. Right into the middle. A shout for handball. Might be able to take a look at that in just a moment, but play continuing as Yarrow keeps this alive. And you can see all the hands go up.
Yeah. Well, Alan Mosina making a point there that he thinks that should have been a penalty, and he feels hard done by. Let's see if we can see anything else. Oh, it's hard to see. Let's have a look here. Yes, there is. To be fair, there is a hand there.
Looked like that was Castellanos who got his hand on that.
I'm just surprised that all those members of the staff can see that clearly when we need a couple of replays. So do they actually see it, or are they just simply putting pressure on the referee?
Well, we were talking before the game just about, we don't really know what a handball is these days, it seems like. There's so much gray area.
Yeah.
Pirano.
Oh.
We'll play this through, and he was offside. It was Solignac who just left a little bit too early. Once again, Pirano starting it all for San Antonio.
Oh, Pirano's wonderful there again, and I'm sorry to say it again, like Messi, he's good in that situation where he runs at defenses, commits you, waits to see if someone runs off his shoulder and just slips the ball through. If I didn't know better, I would say that was a young Messi playing. I don't want to put pressure on him because we're at a different level, obviously. We're not talking Barcelona here, we're talking USL. But nonetheless, that ability of that young man to run at defenses and create opportunities is wonderful to watch.
You can see in that last shot, the guy in the blue shirt with the spray bottle to sanitize all the balls as they go out of play. There he is there. Kill all those germs on all these select balls. A player down for San Antonio. And this is the part of the night where cramping can definitely come into play. Saw this last night in Louisville a ton in that match against St. Louis. After all across the USL. That's one of the worries when you come back from 134 days off. These soft tissue injuries that we've seen.
Echeverry trying to wind up his players there as that clock is ticking, but you're right. With the one thing you can be fit but not match fit. They're two different types of fitness. The match fitness is a lot more stopping, turning. So look at that hand. Oh yes, looks like there is a
I mean, that's right off the hand, right?
But you know what, there's a lot of bodies in there, and if you haven't got slow motion replays to look at, if you haven't got VAR, then you're expecting the referee just to pick that out and to know whose arm it is. Is it a defender's arm, an attacker's arm? It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier when you've got VAR, which they haven't got. So
when we were talking earlier about it, it's when you jump, your arms aren't naturally going to stay by your side. They're going to come out to the sides.
It's all changed with handballs now. I always thought you had to have an intent, and if you couldn't get out the way, it wasn't a handball. Now, if anything touches your hands, it's basically given as a handball. It's a different world when it comes to how the game is dealt with by the referees, and you just got to go with those changes. Talking of changes, that something needs to change for RGV, and I think it has, because the stats from the first half said they only had 2 shots to San Antonio's 6. Well, things have improved vastly in the second half. Now it's RGV who seem to have the upper hand in shots and attempts on target, and that's credit to Echeverry and his team for being a lot more positive against San Antonio.
And the sub will be made. Blake Smith was the one that went down, and he will be taken out. Coming in will be Kai Green, the 27-year-old, his second season with San Antonio, making his season debut here in 2020. That's interesting for San Antonio. They made 3 substitutions. They've used subs in 2 windows, so Alan Marcina has one more window to make his final 2 substitutions if he so chooses. It's interesting to see how he might use that last substitution window. This match stays at 1-0, and it's still right in the balance if RGV can nick one. We've seen them hit the post twice tonight.
We are thinking of damage to players, and it's a point you made just now, is normally as a coach, you look at substitutions from a tactical point of view. You know, are you going to bring an extra defender in because you're 1-0 up, or conversely, if you're 1-0 down, do you throw an extra attacker on, those sort of things. Now, you're looking at it also from a player and their fitness and their sort of state of injury is can you push them for 90 minutes? Will you risk a torn muscle? Which players are comfortable playing 90 minutes and which players you know are carrying a little bit of a knock and need to come off earlier. So you make those decisions now more about player safety than you do about tactics.
Here's Gallegos towards the top of the box. So Lignac. Maloney will tee it up. Blocked away. And I believe the 4th official may have put up the wrong number for one of the RGV subs. 16, Garrett McLaughlin is still in the game. So when Beckford and Obregon Jr. came in, it was a different player who came out. I guess we'll try to track that down, but the 16 went up on the board, and 16 is still in the game for RGV. So instead of McLaughlin who came out, it is Kevin Rodriguez who made way.
In which case it's even more of a positive move, because now you've got 2, if not 3 strikers on the pitch for RGV.
This knockdown will be another corner for San Antonio. We're all still shaking off the rust a little bit.
Well, this is new. You normally have a maximum of 3 per team. That's 6 in total. Now it's a possible 10 substitutions. So we're having to up our game very quickly.
It's almost half the players on the field. There is Kevin Rodriguez on the bench now. But PC to swing this in. 20 minutes to go. This one will be cleared away as Gorski got his head on it. There's Yarrow under some pressure. Dane St. Clair having to come way off his line to clear this away. Here's Gallegos. Haribo making the run towards the end line. Stands it up towards the back post. Nobody making that back post run. Bit of a heavy touch by Legault. And this goes out for a goal kick. RGV may be fortunate there to earn a goal kick.
Once again, good pressure from San Antonio. They've got the 1 goal. They've got the lead. 20 minutes on the clock. They're going to make it very difficult for RGV to play out from the back, as they have done all game, to be fair.
Fans follow RGV and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. And all those fans watching most likely on ESPN Plus. Now it's on local television in the area as well. Trying to support their team with 20 minutes to go.
I'm going to say they're waiting for that goal, aren't they? They're all pumped up and thinking, we need this goal, RGV, come on. But San Antonio are a good side and they're giving them so little. Look at this turnover ball. Keeps getting won by San Antonio.
Foul there. There's Martinez who went down. And a yellow card will be issued. Looks like that goes to PC.
PC saying it's the first time, just the once. Well, it's a 72nd minute. I'm not so sure that you've only had one slightly mistimed tackle. But Victor Guerrero, otherwise known as PC.
been a much more positive second half for RGV. They're still looking for that goal. They've only scored one this season.
Good pressure again. Look at that turnover ball in a dangerous area. Well done, San Antonio.
Pirano. Gallegos on the turn in tight space for Kai Green. Now Solignac. Herivo. Coronado goes down. Solignac confused as to why he did go down, but RGV puts it down and moves quickly. One put out of play, and we will get our second half hydration break. Maybe. It looked like the ref was motioning over there. No, instead we'll get a sub. And now it will be Garrett McLaughlin to come off. It will be a like-for-like substitution. Kyle Edwards, the 23-year-old from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will come on. That's the second substitution window used by RGV.
That's a tough one for Garrett McLaughlin. He hasn't had much service. He hasn't had opportunities. It's been a tough task all on his own up there, trying to get a breakthrough, and hasn't happened yet. Maybe Kyle Edwards can get that breakthrough for RGV.
Kyle Edwards, very familiar with this area. Went to UT RGV, where he made 33 appearances, scored 21 goals, and that's exactly what RGV's looking for tonight. Tyberson. Here's Edwards, his first touch since coming on just moments ago. Play down the line. Cross, I believe it took a deflection. We'll be out for a goal kick. In the meantime, our hydration break as we get into the final 15 minutes. This game really still hanging in the balance. San Antonio had, of course, the goal in the 3rd minute through Christian Pirano, but you can't say they've had that many fantastic opportunities since.
They haven't, not really, have they? I mean, they've had possession, they've had turnover ball in that final third of RGV, so they should have done more with it, San Antonio. And to be fair for the Toros, they've hit the post twice. You've seen in the second half that free kick from Martinez. And of course, first half, Tyberson's bending effort hit the post. So a little bit unfortunate, the home side. They still have 15 minutes in which to turn things around. Otherwise, it's going to make the next match so important. And that game, you told me, was on Wednesday against OKC Energy,
yes,
away from home.
Yes.
So a loss today for RGV, 3 losses out of 3, and they go away from home to play OKC. Wow, not going to be a very happy bus at that point. Echeverry, though, he's trying to get his team motivated to get back in this game. Here's this goal from that first half. Lovely flick on from Solignac. Great balance from Pirano. That's the key here. Have a look at the young man. He gets bumped there, and he keeps his balance and finishes it off in great style. That really is a good goal.
Picking up right where he left off from last year. His first appearance of this 2020 season for the Young Player of the Year in the USL Championship from 2019. He has really impressed tonight as the players come back out onto the field after the hydration break.
If he keeps on progressing, Pirano, then we're going to see him at a higher and higher level in the years to come. Takes a very rare skill to run at defenders and keep your balance when they get pushed and shoved, and this man can do exactly that, and he can finish them off. That's a skill that most clubs are desperately searching for.
Dane St. Clair, the Maryland Terrapin, will put this back into play. He won the College Cup in 2018. Getting Indiana and Akron in the College Cup to hoist the trophy in the end, and a yellow card will be issued. to Deshane Beckford, it looks like.
Perhaps a little bit of frustration there from Deshane, a little bit late on that tackle. Came on as a sub, which no one ever likes to come on as a sub. You want to start the match, so you're already a little bit frustrated, then your team's 1-0 down. It all leads to just maybe a little bit of an over vigorous tackle. But now he's on a yellow card, he's got to be careful.
We'll see if there's one more goal at least in this game, and we'll go a long way to deciding what we get here at the end, whether it's San Antonio going home with 3 points, whether RGV can maybe steal a point and put at least something in the points column in the standings. Right now it's a big bagel. Erevo a bit too heavy and puts it out for a throw, and now for RGV.
They're very neat at times, aren't they, San Antonio? They can play good passes to each other. That one, of course, was a little bit of a wayward one that we saw moments ago from Erevo. But generally, they've been good with their passes. They've been neat. They've been tidy. They press well. They defend well. So it's a, as I mentioned before, it's a very decent team. Can go very far in this tournament, especially with Messi in attack. The young Messi.
The young Messi. Christian Pirano. Here's Kyle Edwards. He'll take this on, and St. Clair was able to see that out of play.
Well, nice positive approach from Kyle Edwards. Didn't hit the target, which is a bit unfortunate, but at least he's willing to have a dip. And time's running out. There's just over 10 minutes left, and sure Echeverry is going to be screaming and shouting from that touchline. They've got to keep going. Again, rather lose 2-0, but have the chance of drawing this match or even winning it. So they're going to have to take risks. And that means pushing more players up front, which they have done. They've got Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. They've got to push him higher up. And Tybuson's effort for the hit the post, maybe a few more of those shots from him. And who knows what might happen in the last 10 minutes.
10 minutes plus stoppage time. Of course, we had that hydration break, so we should get a few extra minutes as well. Yarrow going right over the top. Once again, it was Salignac leaving just a little bit too early. One more sub coming on for San Antonio. Will be Gonzalo Durenzo. And that will be the end of the night for Christian Pirano. And what a night it was. The 3rd minute scoring a goal. That's the difference in this match so far.
Yeah, very impressive from the young man. Look forward to seeing a lot more of him in the future. But Gonzalo Durenzo is a really good player as well. So it's more problems for RGV. In that match against Real Monarchs, he hit the post after 9 minutes, Durenzo. Oh, here's that goal again. Look at the balance. Bomb gets bumped, keeps his balance, drives that ball under the goalkeeper. Great finish.
And on the other side for RGV, it was Emile Legault to come off. Jonathan Jimenez will come on, one of those 3 new signings. Gerson Echeverry just says needs to play with a little bit more finesse. He says he plays at 100 miles per hour quite often. And they're converting him farther back in their formation. Midfielder maybe moving into that back line, but we'll see where he slots in tonight. Go on the bench. The mask goes on for Christian Pirano.
Decent match by Dane Sinclair. Ball in hand at the moment. 1 or 2 saves. And he'll be quick to say, hey, they might have hit the post twice, but if it had been inside the post, I would have made the save.
It's easy to say, right?
It's very easy to say. And that's what he is going to say, because he has got the clean sheet at the moment.
San Antonio through 2 matches, well, not fully 2 matches, but has yet to concede so far. Here's Edwards. Tyberson. Locked away by Gorski. Manley coming all the way forward from his center back position. And it will be a corner kick. Tainter can't believe it. I thought it was Manley got the last touch on that as well.
Echeverry's saying, get up, push up. And he's quite right. With 7 minutes left, you may as well just throw everything in the kitchen sink at San Antonio.
Will be Isidro Martinez to swing this in. 6 orange jerseys in the box. This falls for Jimenez at the back post. Oh, he just couldn't get that first touch right. Brought him away from the goal and puts it out of play.
You're spot on that first touch. If he gets that first touch right and it just sits perfectly for him, he can smack that at the goal. But have a look what happens. Hits there and it goes away. He cuts his angle and then he's struggling to get to the ball. In the end, doesn't even hit the target. That's a good chance. Such a pity for RGV. They haven't had many chances, and that one there falling for Jimenez. He's only just come on, so maybe he hasn't quite into the game yet, and that's why his touch wasn't spot on.
It's one of the better opportunities, though, for RGV tonight. He was in quite a bit of space there at the back post. They'll try to come forward again. Obregon Jr. goes down. Another long ball over the top. Blanchette. They'll track this down and distribute quickly. This will be kept in play. Set up towards the back post. Nobody was there in a white jersey.
Lots of advice from the bench. Trying to get RGV to go forward from the RGV bench and trying to get San Antonio to defend from their bench. No doubt it's going to get very noisy these last 5 minutes.
You could hear the audible groans from the RGV bench when Kyle Edwards played the dummy there, where there was not another teammate in the area.
It's been a tough start with that 5-1 loss to Galaxy 2. That was really, really tough on them because they're playing really well, RGV. And they're just up against a couple of young players for Los Dos who were just fantastic with their finishing. Absolutely clinical. So it looks pretty bad, 5-1. Then El Paso, well, to be fair, they didn't offer much, but they tried hard. They were 0-0 until, what was it, the 83rd minute?
Late in the match, yeah.
Late in the match, 83rd minute, and then El Paso score. So you think, well, we could have maybe got a point there. And today they've hit the post twice. So tough for Coach Echeverry and tough for those wonderful Zoom fans who are watching in and haven't yet had anything to celebrate.
About 4 minutes plus stoppage time to go. San Antonio trying to hold on here at the end, maybe even try to add one more for insurance.
Just working the clock down now, San Antonio. Keep possession. Don't take any risks. Don't have to score a goal, so you can play it forward and backwards.
Making RGV chase this ball around. A wide position. Now Gallegos. He goes down. The referee letting them play on, which he's done a decent amount tonight.
Okay, and there you are with four minutes left, and RGV get the ball and they just knock it aimlessly down the pitch and lose possession. Now they're chasing to get the ball back. That's been one of the biggest criticisms of them in this game. It's just this inability to keep possession and to use it to hurt the opposition.
Basically just keep away right now from RGV.
Not fun if you're an RGV player. Not fun at all. So frustrating. It's going to lead to a lunging tackle just now as one of the RGV players just loses it. But I'm not quite sure who that was to. Not often San Antonio giving away the ball that cheaply. But yeah, very frustrating. And I just feel that from the get-go, they should have been more positive, RGV.
It's hard to be positive from the get-go when you concede in the 3rd minute.
That's also very true. But, you know, I just felt that they weren't able to cause San Antonio any problems. I'm wondering, Dane Sinclair, other than the 2 shots that hit the post, which he'll say he had covered, has he had a decent save to make other than that? I think once in the first half he came out and dived at feet. That was a good save. Not much else, and that's the sort of measure of how little RGV have bothered San Antonio here tonight. The keepers had hardly a save to make.
Tyberson was trying to go quick. Zachary Harivo not letting that happen. Be interesting to see the number on stoppage time at the end. It's been a few minutes since RGV has had a real good attack in front of goal. Here's Jimenez. Nearly a giveaway. Trying to turn the corner was Beckford. Advantage being played, and the referee will bring that back. He has a yellow card in his hand.
Yeah, there's a yellow card every single time.
He stretched that advantage out as long as possible as he tried to pull that back.
Which is good refereeing.
It is.
And Deshane Beckford, credit to him, he didn't roll over, he kept on going. He wanted to get in that box and try and create an opportunity. Now instead they have the free kick. And they have a whole bunch of extra time coming up. Or injury time, I should say.
It's Taintero as his name taken. It will be 6 minutes of stoppage time. It's a pretty big number, even with the hydration break. And a set piece opportunity. Tyberson and Martinez stand over it. Tyberson with the in-swinger. Headed away as far as Beckford takes this on. Took a big deflection. And will go out for a corner kick.
That's it, RGV. Some excitement there, pushing forward. That shot just blocked, but what a good ball it was in initially. Caused San Antonio all sorts of problems. They defended it, but it caused them problems. That's good from RGV. Let's see what they can do with this corner.
The in-swinger from Martinez, headed on, it's saved off the line by St. Clair. Potentially a game-saving stop right there by the San Antonio netminder.
It was a good save, and it was a good clearance as well from the defense.
Push forward again. Edwards will try to keep this in, he does! Oh, it was saved off the line again! Just pinballing around the box. Put in again by RGV. Deshane Beckford has a shot blocked. Here's Murphy for Edwards. A curling effort, a deflection. That will go out for a corner kick. There's a collision there at the end line. Another corner kick upcoming for RGV.
That was Jonathan Jimenez, I think, who had that header that was going into the back of the net and it hit one of the defenders.
Another in-swinger towards the back post. It's missed there by St. Clair, and Kai Green dives to head it away.
We've had more action in the added time than in the entire match from RGV. Sinclair comes for this, and this is the one before. This is the first header. Then there was another header that came in. That was from Jonathan Jimenez. This is the one here. He's scoring. That's going in the back of the net, and it just hits the defender on the back of the head. Wow.
I don't think Gorski had any idea what he was doing there, but he did save it, at least for the moment. Towards the back post again. Edwards up for it, and it's out for another corner kick. Just switching corners now. 3 minutes to go.
And all these RGV fans are saying, where was this for the 90 minutes? Why couldn't you put this sort of pressure on?
It's been good service from Isidro Martinez. As he'll swing this in again. We're midway through the minimum of 6 minutes. And again, headed right back where it came from by Tainter.
This is important for Dane Sinclair to keep cool, and if the ball is near him, he's got to come and catch it and just kill this pressure.
Here it comes again. This one a more thumping header. And it's cleared away as far as Coronado. Gallego's doing a lot of chasing. Tyberson. He'll cut in field. He'll go for a goal again. What a strike for RGV! They equalize in stoppage time. Tyberson equalizes.
That is a golazo, absolutely brilliant strike. Echeverry, the coach, gets pulled into that as well, but he did it first half, Tyberson, and he hit the post. This time he gets it in the top corner. That is a magnificent finish, absolutely brilliant and tough for San Antonio. But to be fair, RGV had come so close from corner after corner, and eventually they get the breakthrough, and well-deserved. Let's have a look at it again. He cuts in here on that left foot. They should have taken advice from what he did in the first half, but nothing that Dane Sinclair can do. And that is a brilliant finish. Absolutely stunning. A golazo.
Just the second goal of the season for RGV. And that might be one of the top goals of the entire season in the USL Championship. That was from well outside the box. And San Antonio, they've controlled this game basically from the opening kickoff. And they might not walk out of here with 3 points. They might not walk out of here with any, as here comes RGV again. Another free kick, 1 minute to go. And a yellow card.
Jimenez played for that really well. He just slowed his run down and forced Lorenzo to run into the back of him. I think he's done it because he got a free kick that they can load it into the box, and they've caused so many problems from those corners. They're going to try and do exactly the same from this free kick.
San Antonio under a whole lot of pressure here in stoppage time. The amount of attacking options Gerson Echeverry had at his disposal on the bench, they're pretty much all on the field right now. Here's Isidro Martinez towards the back post again. Looked like that came off the shoulder of Solignac. He'll be out for a corner kick. There can't be much time left, just 15 seconds of the minimum of 6. You might get a little bit longer than that.
It's an HEB corner kick.
Wow, incredible pressure. All in the last 6 minutes, a goal and clearances off the line and panic in that San Antonio defense.
Tyberson, the goal scorer, will swing this in again. Right in front, oh, it was Edwards who got his head on it. And that is the last touch of the match. The points are shared tonight in Edinburgh, Texas. And the South Texas Derby ends 1-1.
Oh, what a great finish. Absolutely brilliant. The two coaches having a few words there, but fantastic goal from Tyberson. And he hit the post first half as well. Two brilliant strikes. One went in, one hit the post. They seem happy with the point, RGV. And certainly it gives them a little bit of hope going forward. A loss today would have really crushed them. 3 games, 3 losses. But this 1 point gives them hope that they can perform better in these 2 matches coming up midweek against OKC and San Antonio again next Saturday.
San Antonio, based on goal difference, will still move top of Group D, and it's still RGV at the bottom of Group D, but they have finally gotten a result. Their first of the season after 2 straight losses to start. That has to be a positive finish for RGV, and what a wonder strike that was from Tyberson. Well, we'll come back to HEB Park and we'll wrap things up, but it finishes tonight. RGV 1, San Antonio 1.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you for life.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
At Bird Ogden and Fiesta dealerships, we continue to make our facilities safer. We are using hospital-grade disinfectants to sanitize customer waiting areas. We are sanitizing every vehicle before and after each use. Safety is our top priority. Together, we will get through this.
Back here to wrap things up from HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. What a finish it was. RGV basically throwing the kitchen sink at San Antonio, and they do get a goal through Tyberson's wonder strike. Well, let's wrap things up here with our man of the match, presented by Nature Valley, and who else but the goal scorer Tyberson.
It is an incredible strike. Wonderful. And he hit one in the first half, very, very similar, that hit the post, so he deserves to get this one in the dying moments of the match in injury time. Tyberson comes good and gets that much value point for RGV and gives his manager a hug.
That man of the match brought to you by Nature's Valley, and we'll take a look at the full-time highlights. Well, we got to go right off the bat. We've seen this a few times tonight, but it was a pretty good goal in the end by Christian Perano.
Great flick on from Seligna, but Perano takes it brilliantly, gets the knock from the defender, keeps his balance there, lines it up, sticks it under the goalkeeper. 1-0 in the first couple of minutes.
That got San Antonio going. There would be a few opportunities, though, for RGV in the first half. And Tyberson, before he got the goal laid on, he hit the post.
Yeah, this is a warning. I mean, this is so close to getting in. He puts great spin on this, but if you've seen him do it once, coming in that left foot, maybe you want to avoid doing it a second time. Unfortunately, San Antonio don't learn from this one, and they pay the price later in the match.
As you said, it was a sign of things to come, but come the second half, there'll be more opportunities. Tyberson again, almost a deflected shot that goes in.
I think that was on target. It actually hits the defender's knee and bumps up over the crossbar.
And then once again, off the post from Isidro Martinez. They came so close so many times, but it wasn't until stoppage time where they finally got their goal.
I think Sinclair had it covered if they had been going in, but this is the goal then. There was a couple of moments from corners where they could have scored, and then he pops up with this. This is absolutely fantastic. Nothing that Dane Sinclair can do. And in the end, I think reward for RGV, who were positive. They threw on more forwards. They went for it. They were unlucky with those corners. And yeah, Echeverry, for being a positive coach, gets a big hug.
Well, that's going to do it tonight from Edinburgh, Texas. Pretty exciting South Texas derby at the end. But it was the teams that share the points in Group D. RGV won, San Antonio won. That's how it finishes tonight. For our entire crew and the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Texas, where it finishes 1-1 in Group D.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.